interview for Dante's Boxing Nation. ESPN rated Triple G as number 2 as the greatest middleweight in the last 25 years over you. And could you give me your thoughts in reference to that?
I really hate to get into that because I do like Triple G, and he didn't do it, they did, right?
Okay.
But to back all the talk down for me, I think Triple G is a wonderful fighter. But if you really want to be on the pound-for-pound list, this is why I think people are unfair. When I came up, James Hunter was a pound-for-pound, bad dude boxer.
That's right.
One weight class above me, at 44-0. You know, I told him, I don't want this middleweight title. I want the pound-for-pound title. I want to do this one weight class above me, that y'all say is better than everybody. I want him, because that makes you know that I am better than everybody. So when that chance came for Triple G, in his prime, 32 years old, Andre Ward was sitting there, number 1B, pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. If you really want that, you go fight Andre. Instead, they would get mad and say, you know, Roy knows Triple G too small for him. Dude, Roy fought a heavyweight. Do Roy give a damn about size? If you really want to be pound-for-pound, you put a sacrifice to go get that, right?
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So that interview was done about 4 years ago. You fast forward to present day, right after Canelo Alvarez gets dominated by Dimitri Bivol, and Roy Jones, he gives one of the most honest takes on the whole Canelo Bivol situation, at least compared to a lot of other professional boxers. Roy was not afraid to state the obvious. Roy said that Canelo moving up to 175 to Bivol, clearly Canelo Alvarez, he thought that the Bivol fight would be easier than a Benavidez fight, a Charlo fight, or even a Demetrius Andrade fight. Roy was about to go even deeper than that, but then he was cut off by one of the guys on the podcast show, and they said to him, Roy, are you saying this is a cherry pick gone wrong? Now, let me go ahead and play the clip so you guys can get Roy Jones Jr.'s answer to that question. Check it out.
Well, this is what I'm going to say. And I nobody looked at it this way yet, but most of the time when you move up, you just want to move up to get a belt in that weight class and say you did it, and you move on. Either you stay there or you get the heck going back where you came from, right? You already did that. You did that when you beat Kovalev. What you going back to do it again for? You want to be 2-time like heavyweight? What does that prove? So why would you even waste time messing with Bivol, who was a problem already? Why would you do that? So if you did that, that means that you thought that he would be easier than David Benavidez? Or you thought he might have been easier than Jermell Charlo? Or you the money man, you could have went and gave us something to see with fighting Demetri Andrade. Why are you going to challenge another light heavyweight when you already accomplished that one time? You caught the right one, you did it. Get out and leave that alone. Well, this is what I'm going to say.
Roy, are you insinuating that this was a cherry pick gone wrong?
It was. It had to be.
Okay, you guys just heard what Roy Jones Jr. said. He said it was a cherry pick. He said it had to be a cherry pick gone wrong. Now, something else he said that might not have stood out is when he said you already went to light heavyweight and you caught the right one to win a title. So why do it again? So Roy Jones is also acknowledging that even when Canelo moved up to fight Sergey Kovalev, that was a cherry pick. But going back to Roy Jones saying, why would he do it again? And the answer to that question is simple. Canelo Alvarez was in a situation where he was forced to pick his poison. Just like Roy Jones said, you guys had heard me say months before the fight, or leading all the way up to the fight, I kept telling you, clearly, Canelo Alvarez, he feels that the Bivol fight will be easier than a Charlo or a Benavidez fight, or certainly a Demetrius Andrade fight. Now, it's really important to note, Canelo Alvarez actually didn't even choose this to be his next opponent. Canelo originally wanted to fight a cruiserweight guy by the name of Macaboo that happened to have a belt. Macaboo was basically the Avni Yildirim of the cruiserweight division. If Canelo would have fought him, it would have ended just like the Avni Yildirim fight. So Canelo and his team, they thought that they were going to be able to easily present this fight to someone, either DAZN or PBC, and he was going to get paid millions and millions of dollars for it. But like I always tell you guys, DAZN, they told Canelo Alvarez, you got to fight Bivol first. You got to fight Bivol, Golovkin. Then after that, you could take whatever easy fight you want. So while that was DAZN's deal, PBC, they were offering Canelo Alvarez $100 million to fight Jamal Charlo and either Errol Spence at a catchweight of 164 or David Benavidez. And this is the reason why I say Canelo was finally in a situation where he was forced to pick his poison. Because there's a very good chance that Canelo Alvarez would lose to all of those guys. And the fact that Canelo Alvarez, he originally wanted to skip right past 175 and fight the weakest guy at cruiserweight, it proves that he knew that the Bivol fight would be a tough fight as well. But I think when Canelo compared Bivol to either fighting an Andrade or a Charlo or even a David Benavidez, because Canelo Alvarez had been on this European diet for so long, I truly believe that Canelo, he knew that Bivol was tougher than a Plant, a Caleb Smith, or even a Billy Joe Saunders. But he felt, you know what, man, these European fighters, I don't care how good they box. Eventually, once I land one of my best shots to either the body or the chin, they're going to hit the canvas, give up, or slowly start to break down. I mean, Canelo Alvarez, he had already said the week of the fight that the first 6 rounds is going to be very difficult. Almost saying he knows that he's going to be behind on the scorecards after the 6th round. And going into a fight like that with that type of mindset, you got a losing game plan. That's a losing strategy. But Canelo felt his equalizer, which is his power, would always bail him out of trouble. But Canelo Alvarez found out in this fight that just raw power and no real strategy or game plan is not going to be enough to win this fight. It's just really weird that we live in this boxing era where it's extremely rare to see a well-known boxer come out and speak the whole truth when it comes to Canelo Alvarez or any other fighter on the hope list. And by the way, guys, when I say hope list, that doesn't mean white fighters. It just means fighters that are not black. A fighter that old media hopes doesn't have to fight some dangerous, undefeated black fighter, mandatory, or champion in his division. Like they didn't want to see Teofimo fight Devin Haney. They didn't want this George Kambosos Devin Haney fight. They never wanted to see Canelo Alvarez fight Charlo or Andrade. They never wanted to see Golovkin fight Andre Ward. That's the hope list. While they're hoping that their favorite fighters don't have to fight fighters on the coincidental list that may possibly beat them, they're also hoping at the same time that they can mislead and indoctrinate enough people to believe that that fighter on the hope list is the greatest of all time. He's pound for pound the best fighter in the world. He would beat Muhammad Ali, and the list just goes on and on and on. A lot of them are hoping that another Floyd Mayweather does not emerge and becomes the king of boxing. This is the reason why you have some boxing websites that were bold enough to put out a pound for pound list that has Canelo Alvarez as #1, the best fighter in the world, not even caring that Canelo is fresh off of a loss where he wasn't even close to winning the fight. They hope that people won't pay attention to these double standards. At the end of the day, you can do all the hoping you want, but no matter how much you hope, you can never make these fighters better than they are. You can't improve their head movement, defense, rhythm, coordination. All you can do is hope and pray that they will stay away from the dangerous opponents, take the easiest fights, so you can keep pushing this old media agenda of them being better than the fighters that they won't even get in the ring with. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. There's a new feature on YouTube. It's called Super Thanks. Those of you guys who really like what we're doing over here when it comes to new media, Dante's Boxing Nation, and you really enjoy the whole truth, you can go ahead and show that extra love by sending the Super Thanks.
How has this changed your life, man?
It's going good. It's going good. I feel younger, look younger. Picking up the young girls. I just didn't scratch that, but it's been good. It's been good. I like to look. I like to feel. I feel more confident now. well spent, Tuesday.
Now, in terms of the response, what has been people's like as people being like, hey, you know, what do you have on your head or things of that sort?
The most response I get is like, yo, what barber you go to? They get, you know, such a close shave with, you know, everything lined up, so sharp and everything. And, you know, then I go into explaining to her the procedure of what I had done and everything. And they always like, I would never known it, you know.
Fellas, I've got some great news for you. If you've lost your hair or have a receding hairline, the time has come when you can finally get your hairline back through a process called scalp micropigmentation. So here's how it works. It's a hair tattoo that replicates the look of your hair follicles when you have fully shaved it down. So to get this hookup, make sure you follow and contact my man Scalp Carolinas on Instagram. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elo Deki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodeki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.